Welcome to A Faithful Life. Shalom and greetings and good morning. It's the third day, number 3, of the Proverbs 31 challenge, meaning reading one Proverbs a day for 31 days. And I am excited again. Like I said, we usually do it, and I'm glad that so many people are doing it at the same time, and we can discuss in the season of what we're reading. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm just going to jump right in. And my jewel gems, I decided that's what I'm going to call them. They're gems for the day. And Proverbs 3, the very first line jumped out at me. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. And actually it was the word forget. And I realized that we as humanity, we have a remembrance problem. We remember what we want, what's important to us, but a lot of times we forget what we're not so enthusiastic about, or what basically our heart's desire is not. And we seem to forget about those type of things. So if our mind is not towards the laws, as Solomon is saying here, to me it's showing that we have an inclination to forget about it. And so he's telling him as a reminder, like tie a string, put it on your forehead, like it says in Deuteronomy, bind it around your hand, but don't forget it, because it's going to give you length of days, long life, peace, and they shall add to you. And so sometimes we cry, oh, what's wrong? I don't understand why this, why that. It's because we forgot. We forgot to do it, because when we do it, it's blessing. And when we don't do it, it's not. And so number 3, he says, let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them about your neck, write them upon the tablet of your heart. And I thought it was interesting that mercy and truth went together, because I'm learning now, because I used to be what they say, brutally honest. And now as I'm maturing, I'm learning that you have to have mercy with that honesty. And so this one really speaks to me. You have to understand that we're human and we err, or like they say, to err is, how does it go? To err is human, and to forgive is divine, or something of that nature. But basically, the forgiveness is the mercy. And we know that we're gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes, and my children are gonna make mistakes, my husband, my family, humanity. And it is not just to brush over it or act as though it doesn't exist, because open rebuke is better than secret love. However, a forgiveness that has to take place. Not like, I'll never forgive you for what you did. Then we're holding the burden, and it actually begins to eat out different organs. But that's another topic. But when we hold that energetic energy of hatred, that eats away at your liver, of fear that deals with your kidneys. That's why when you are afraid, you pee on yourself. Or a lot of people, when they're afraid, they pee on themselves, because it affects the organ. So each emotion affects an organ, and when we hold on to these emotions later on in life, this is where all the pathologies begin to come from. So it's very important to learn forgiveness. Be truthful but merciful in it also. It says, another one that stuck out to me was 5, 6, and 7. 5, 6, and 7 is one of my favorites. It says, trust in the Most High with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. And I just love that one. That's just my favorite one. Everybody has their favorite one, but that's just my favorite one. So I'm not, and it says, 7 says, be not wise in your own eyes. And we tend to do that. We tend to analyze the situation, the ego jumps in, and we try to finagle around inside out to show how we're so wise, and everybody else are just, they don't get it. And sometimes the scripture says, be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Most High and depart from evil, because a lot of times we're wrong, but we just don't want to say it. And then we want to get people on our side so that we don't have to admit it, and so that the conscience or the ego could be appeased and say, see, I knew they was wrong. And the scripture is telling you, don't do that. Don't do that. This time around, what really stuck out to me was, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. By the way, I'm outside. D. Outside. I want to get outside in the sun. We need the D. We need to suck up the rays of the sun so that we can, energize our body. So get outside. Get out the air conditioner sometime and get outside and get that D. But that was a side note. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. People be like, huh? We have to know who is oppressing us. We have to know who is the oppressor. And sometimes we have, I forgot what the syndrome is called, where we begin to identify with the oppressor, and then we want the things that the oppressor have given us. In this case, one has to evaluate their own life to know who is the oppressor or what is the oppressor, and be careful that we're not trying to mimic them, imitate them, emulate them, when we know that the end thereof is not good, because the scripture says, Solomon started off, that we keep the commandments, and we fear the Most High, that's where our blessing is going to come from. And a lot of times, because we see the oppressor being blessed, we think that if we emulate them, then we will be blessed. And actually we won't, because it's a deception. So Solomon says, envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the froward is an abomination to the Most High, but his secret is with the righteous. On that note, I hope you enjoyed, because I enjoyed. And you have a blessed day. Thank you for tuning into A Faithful Life. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Make your videos. Make your comments. Keep reading. May the Most High bless you and keep you. And I'll see you on day 4. And check out some other videos. We have day 1, 2, and 3. And we'll be doing some other videos coming out. So be sure to check us out. Shalom.